All right, here is the solution to homework H8 earnings per share. We're going to walk through this. All right, so once again, strategy with multiple choice is to treat each selection as a true false. So, in computations of weighted average shares outstanding, when a stock dividend or stock split occurs, the additional shares are weighted by the number of days outstanding. On its face, not unreasonable, um, but it's a little vague. Number of what days outstanding. Weighted by the number of months outstanding, well, we do know that we've been using monthly weighting. Considered outstanding at the beginning of the year, obviously that's the choice. This is just a gap rule. And D, considered outstanding at the beginning of the earliest year reported. This one definitely wouldn't make any sense. Because if it just happened the earliest year reported, I mean, you might be going back to prior fiscal years. So C, considered outstanding at the beginning of the year. Okay. Um, 2, the weighted average number of shares is affected by all the following except a stock dividend. So this is not a cash dividend. This is a stock dividend where you change the number of shares. So yes, this is always when they throw all the following except. So yes, this does affect the weighted average, so we exclude it. The purchase of treasury stock absolutely does affect weighted average, so we exclude it. Stock splits absolutely does, so we exclude it. Stock warrants. The exercise of a stock warrant would, but the fact that one exists, that does not change the weighted average number of shares. So a little tricky question there. All right, so the next one, number 3, what is basic EPS? So we have net income of 400,000. We have cumulative preferred. So no dividends were declared. We don't care. If it is cumulative preferred for earnings per share, ignore the declaration of any dividends. We only want the current year's accumulation. So where does this 50,000 come from? I don't know if you just heard that doing, that bell tone. Sorry if you heard it. Maybe I'm losing my mind. I just heard a doink sound on my headset. Anyway, 10,000 shares times 5% times 100, which is the current year's dividend. Okay, so cumulative, just take out the current year's dividend, and we don't even have to calculate the outstanding shares. They just give it to us, and there's your answer, $1.94. So this is just kind of a baby basic EPS problem, really testing you on that you understand the dividend adjustment. So in the next one, I give you a non-cumulative preferred. No dividends were declared, so you're going to get a big fat 0 for the PF dividend here. You end up with $2.22 a share. Now it's cumulative and they declared 20,000, but we ignore it because it's cumulative. It's going to be the same as number 3, $1.94. Whenever it's cumulative, ignore the declaration. Number 6, non-cumulative. So this is the same as number 5, except it's non-cumulative. Where is my little dot? There it is. Non-cumulative. They declared 20,000. Well, they're entitled to up to 50, but they didn't declare that much, so you just take out the 20. So with the preferred dividend, it's the current year for a cumulative is 10,000 times 5% times 100, which equals 50,000. But the declared was 20,000. So we get the bigger function is take the max of, excuse me, not the max. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? Let's see. Pop, 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 pop. The min, which is the 20,000. Take it over there, and that's 211 a share. So, um, just a different look at the same problem. The only thing we did was alter the dividend. Okay, so here's a bunch of information. Let me put a line here to kind of break up the fact that this information goes down here. And it says, whoops, calculate Davis weighted average shares outstanding. So we're going to calculate weighted average shares. Let me scroll up a little bit. Hopefully you can see everything. They report 400,000 shares up. On March 1, they repurchase 100,000 shares. So 3-1 repurchase. On July 1, they issue 200,000 shares. Looking good. On October 1, the company declares a 50% stock dividend. So 500,000 times 50% equals 250, and you add them together, 50, 250, 500,000, 250 is 750. And on November 1, there was actually a conversion of preferred shares for 100,000 common. November 1. Okay, so 400,000 less 100 is 300. 300 plus 200 is 500. 500 plus 250 is 750. 750 plus 100 is 850. January, February, 2 months. March, April, May, and June, 4 months. July, August, September, 3 months. October, 1 month. November, December, 2 months. 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10, plus 2 is 12, so we got 12 twelfths. So the months total out. Okay, so you should the numerator should all sum up to 12. Doesn't guarantee that it's correct. You could have offsetting errors, but at least you miss some errors that way. All right, so we had a 50% stock dividend. Excuse me, no other splits or whatnot. Here is the STK dividend, and I said this in the lecture note. Maybe you didn't watch it. Every row above this stock split or stock dividend needs to be multiplied by the adjustment factor. For stock dividends, a stock dividend adjustment factor equals 1 plus the dividend percentage. So that's 1 plus 0.5 is 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. Right? So all you do is multiply 400,000 times the fraction of year, this of the month in months. This is the weighting right here. That equals 100,000. This equals 150. Equals 187. Equal, and we end up with 641,667. All right. That's the weighted average share. Our earnings per share. Well, let's go back. Preferred dividends of 200,000 had been declared prior to the conversion, so those are out the gate. You can't recover those. You can't say you avoided those. Those are done. Net income was $2 million. $2 million less than 200,000 over the 641,667, 281 a share. All right. Let's take a little break there so this video doesn't get too long, and we'll keep trucking with earnings per share.